Hi Tarot friends, it's Jade here with Tarot Your Truth, and I am back with another walkthrough. This time as you can see in front here, we're looking at the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Sterle. This deck I think is a pretty important deck. I did not back the Kickstarter largely because of shipping costs. Shipping to my area is pretty insane, often times as much as the deck itself, or pretty close to. However, this deck has since gone to mass market, and so I was able to get it at a more reasonable price on including shipping on Amazon. So what we're looking at here is the backs of the cards. I do like the backs. I'm not a huge fan of the peacock blue, but I'm also not super opposed to it either. It had the design I like. It has all of the elements. We've got the swords crossed in the middle. We've got the wands on each side. We have the cups top and bottom. And then in two of the four corners, we have the coins or pentacles. We've got a few other symbols, including the keys. I'm assuming these are tarot cards, but not sure exactly there. But anyways, and then of course the M and W for Modern Witch. Hopefully you can see the entire card, and I'm sorry this is going to move slightly. My filming setup is a little bit weird right now, but hopefully I'll fix that soon. Anyway, so the box, everyone has probably seen this box. It's a very sturdy box actually that opens up like so. Doing this one-handed is kind of hard. Okay, so it says MW on each side. The inside has all sorts of symbols and whatnot, moon signs and whatnot. And so does the inside of the top, although you can't see it apparently right now. Okay. Anyway, as I said, this is by Lisa Sterle. It is basically in a Liminal 11, sorry. It is basically a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, except with modern. It's a more modern take on it. So for example, you could see here, and I'll point this out as we go through, but the clothing and whatnot is more 21st century. Okay, so let's have a look. This card here is actually just an extra card, and it says, "You are a badass being full of life and love and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self." Oh boy, hope I'm not going to make you guys sick. I'm going to move this back a little bit. Put this towards the middle. All right. The Fool with her blue hair, still the red flower, similar clothing. Just updated, and with her iPod. The Magician, which you've probably realized is the cover. Oh, come on. I am so sorry, guys. The Priestess, the Empress. I think that's a bit better. Emperor. The Hierophant. The Lovers. Chariot. I love that the Chariot is a motorcycle. Strength. The Hermit. I love that the Hermit has a laptop. Trying to eliminate that shine there. The Wheel of Fortune. Justice. The Hanged One. Death. Pretty similar, except we don't have the bishop, I guess he is, in the normal or in the regular RWS. There's a Temperance card, which was also on the side of the box. So pretty similar imagery, just you know, modern clothing, but not all that dissimilar. I'm gonna try to fix this. Hopefully this is a bit better. The Devil. I would have hoped actually that Miss Sturl would have taken the opportunity to change this card a bit. I know that it is, you know, it's supposed to be like the RWS, but at the same time, I feel like there's a bit of a missed opportunity to move away from this goat-like creature. So that card is a little bit disappointing for me, I have to say. Anyway, especially since, you know, she definitely did take deviations on a few things. So I don't know, I feel like there's a missed opportunity there. Anyway, the Tower. This one is, if anything, is actually more gruesome than the original Tower. You know, I don't remember on the regular RWS anybody actually being impaled by anything. Stars, beautiful card. I love this card actually. I love that they've got the masks and the shadowy side of things, maybe the subconscious down there. The Sun. Judgment. The World. Okay, and then we get to the Wands. It's the Ace of Wands. Two of Wands. Again with her phone, planning some things. The Three of Wands. Wishing she was on one of those ships, but knowing that that's not the best use of her efforts at the moment. The Four of Wands, going for a little picnic, enjoying the sunny day. The Five of Wands, a little bit of friendly sparring. The Six of Wands, some celebration. I love the ripped jeans that seem to be all the rage right now. All right. And Seven of Wands. still having the advantage with the height, but, you know, 6 against 1 kind of thing is not so fun. The 8 of Wands. I love the motorcycle. Now we're getting speed, right? In the original one, I think I may have talked about this before in a previous video. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know, this card was always a bit tough for me. Like, I knew it meant, you know, speed was supposed to be one of the meanings, but I only know that because I read the description. You know, they're just eight rods parallel to each other in the air. It doesn't really speak of speed to me, like not intuitively anyway. And so again, like that's one instance where I'd be going by the book meaning as opposed to what the card actually means to me. But here with the motorcycle, we can clearly see that this person is motoring along, burning some rubber. We've got the 9 of Wands. Hurt, but still determined. And the 10 of Wands, again, just sort of overloaded, not handling things very well because nobody in their right mind would carry a load like that. The Page. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. All right, let's move on to the cups. We've got the Ace of Cups. The 2 of Cups. Three of Cups. Some celebration there. The 4, I love her sweater over it. A 5 of Cups. The 6 of Cups, I love this card. The 7. Looking up at all those possibilities. The 8. Ran out of drink, going to the liquor store. The 9 of Cups. Very satisfied, very happy. And the 10 of Cups. So I'm going to have to move these out of the way. Page of Cups. Looking at the little fishy. The Knight of Cups. The Queen. I love this Queen. The King. In those turbulent waters, but not affected. All right, we move to the swords. The Ace. The 2. I did have pink hair at one point. I like this card very much. The black ink sort of leaking out of that heart. It calls to mind quite a few things. This card I'm not super crazy about, I have to say. This card to me is more, like the artwork is sort of more of a 9 of Swords, anxiety. She looks like she's having some insomnia. can't sleep because of whatever's going on in her mind. That is not about rest and relaxation to me. Maybe depression because, it's night, it's daylight outside. So this really to me looks more like a Nine of Swords, not a 4. The 5. She looks very self-satisfied. The 6 of Swords. This looks like someone taking an elderly parent from turbulent waters to hopefully a better place. 7 of Swords. Again, there's something different about this card. I don't, in the original RWS, that person is clearly sneaking away with those 5 swords. This person just looks like she's looking back. So, and that could be in regret. It could be, to see if anyone's following her. I'm not sure, but it's again, another indication of how the artwork can change the meaning. So even though this is meant to be fairly just a modern uptake on the RWS, in terms of the art, I think the meaning is also affected here. 8 of Swords, fairly standard. 9 of Swords, clearly upset. Anxious, having nightmares. So here there were actually 2 cards. I replaced the original one with the extra card that comes in because I think it's hilarious. And so apropos, everything is fine. The original one is here, which just says, it's the exact same artwork, it just, the title block says 10 of Swords instead of everything is fine. And this is, I resonate with this one because, sort of growing up for me, it was always a case of sort of never let them see you cry. You weren't allowed to be upset about anything. You weren't allowed to show anyone that you were upset or hurt or feeling betrayed or whatever. So if anyone asked, everything is always fine. And you cried and you had your panic attacks, your 9 of Swords moment in private. So yeah, so that's part of why I really resonate with this one and switched out the card. We get to the Page of Swords. The Knight of Swords charging to their rescue regardless of whether anyone actually needs rescuing. I think they did a fabulous job with this card. I love her. She's beautiful. I really dislike the artwork on the original RWS, and she looks serious, but at the same time she's got her hand up. Come forward. Let me know. Let me know what your troubles are, and I can help you make your way through things. I love the butterfly for the transformation and the bird for, to me that bird means, I can help you see things. I can help you work things out. And I can help protect you when you need it. And the King of Swords, again with the butterflies, this time with 3, and there's 2 birds. So just taking that energy of the Queen of Swords and amping it up. Love it. Gonna move these ones out of the way. And the Ace of Pentacles. I love that it's a big sun. The 2 of Pentacles. pretty. I like this card. Although it is interesting because this card, this Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles are often, I often see them in reverse. Like, to me, 3 is smaller than 8, so theoretically that should be, the 3 should be the apprentice and the 8 should be the master. But in many of the texts that I have read, with regards to the original Rider-Waite-Smith artwork, the 3 is, the guy that's showing his patrons his mastery in the church or museum or whatever it is, probably a church. And the 8 is, the person working hard. It's more of the apprentice card, which always seemed backwards to me. And in this deck, they seem to have been reversed, which makes more sense to me. So this is, a younger person sort of learning how to draw the human body, and this looks like the teacher or the master sort of providing assistance and guidance. We'll get to the 8 in a minute. The 4 of Pentacles. The 5. I feel like maybe, their coats maybe should be patchy, or their clothing a little bit more patchy. But this 6 is an interesting card. The one person kind of getting ignored while the other one gets a pretty big present. And in the other hand is a much smaller present. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's anything less, but that's kind of the indication that the feeling that I get. And this person is really sort of being ignored for the moment. The 7 of Pentacles. She kind of looks worried. I don't know about our crops, maybe. And here's the 8 of Pentacles again. So it's interesting because I haven't read the book for this one. Actually, I should have a look. But again, kind of an apprentice card as well, now that I think about it. So I'm not sure where the mastery one is supposed to be. The 9 of Pentacles. Woman in her garden, tending all of her crops. The 10 of Pentacles. The Page. The Knight. The Queen. It's beautiful. And I love that. I love the bunny. Oops. Let's not put that upside down. And the King. I like this card also very much. He's, with the border, not a border, kind of a border wall, I guess. Anyway, and that is all of the cards. I'm going to give them a shuffle in just a second, but let's have a look at the book. The book is this little hardcover with that 10 of Swords on the cover. It's pretty thin. So I don't know, like, to me this looks like the inside of the box, both the top and the bottom. To me, I kind of find these wasted. I mean, if that's all the number of pages, I mean, there's only 50 pages, 55 pages here. I don't know, like, this does not cost a small amount of money to do, and I feel like, you know, providing a simple little white book like this, like a typical one from Lo Scarabeo, would probably have dropped the cost a little bit, and that could have been passed on to purchasers. But anyway, so in the little book, we have a foreword, the introduction, the majors, the minors, and then some guidance on reading the tarot, the spreads, and the extra cards. I am curious about that, actually. So that was actually the first, so that 10 of Swords with the everything is fine was one of the first that she drew for the deck, and a little inspiration in that second card. We've got the inner wheel. We've got a small version of a kind of a Celtic cross. We've got different other spreads. Little guidance on reading the tarot. Actually, it is kind of a procedure. And then a short paragraph for every card. And it doesn't give any reverse meanings, actually, which is fine for me because I don't read reversals anyway. For the majors, you get a black and white photo and maybe half a page, a little bit more than half a page of text. The text is pretty small, so if your vision is not fantastic, you may need glasses or magnifying glass. So, out of curiosity, let's have a look at the Three of Pentacles. If I can find it. It's the Cups. Okay, so for the Three of Pentacles, your passion for learning and improving your skills is going to pay off. You've been faithfully dedicating yourself to a project or to your job, and someone above you is looking to reward you for all this hard work. You have the talent to see it through, and soon will be where you want to be. So to me, that speaks of an apprenticeship kind of thing, or like not maybe an official apprenticeship in that sense, but just sort of learning a new skill and working hard at it. But let's have a look at the Eight of Pentacles. There can be no success without hard work. Whether you've got an important deadline, a project you've been procrastinating on, or you're looking to improve your situation, it's time to buckle down and get to it. It can feel like a slog for sure, but it'll definitely be worth all the time and energy. The proud feeling when you're finally done will be absolutely amazing, promise. So both of those cards are really about hard work. At the end of the day, the 8 one seems to be more, it's time to buckle down. It's a slog, whereas the 3, you're really building the skills, working hard to build the skills. Whereas here, you're working hard so that you can see the rewards at the end, which for me was always kind of the 7 of Pentacles. But in the 7 of Pentacles, it's time for a much needed break. Step away from the whatever you've been working on and take some time to relax. So interesting, right? So definitely those changes in the artwork that I was looking at definitely are reflected in the meanings. So I mean, I suppose if you memorize meanings, you can always use those, but it's not just a copy of the RWS. Check this out, by the way. This is how the cards came. Actually, the bow was a little bit more pronounced when I first got it. So I'm holding it at the, if I hold it tight at the bottom, then it's not so pronounced, but you can see the pink of the cloth behind there. Anyway, it was definitely more pronounced, and I sort of bent, I just kind of did a reverse bend there, but it's still not perfect. It's okay. It doesn't really affect the shuffle. I'm going to try to do this, although I'm not sure I'll be able to, because it's hard to do this from behind. Oh my God, there is no way. Okay, Jade, seriously. There's a little nick there too. Okay. The cards are really thick, and I do not have the strength to bend them. Check that out. They do not bend very much. I'm gonna try this again. Hopefully this time in the right direction. But no, there's no way. I can't even bend those cards. So this will be an overhand shuffle for sure. So they are glossy, actually. I wouldn't even say semi-glossy. They're definitely glossy, as you can kind of see there. But the nice thing, let's see if I can move this out of the way here, is that they do spread very nicely. They're not sticky at all, which many of the glossy decks that I had are definitely sticky. So that is it. I have to decide actually whether I want to send this back and get another deck. But of course I have no guarantee that this wouldn't be the same situation. Plus that's a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm going to try to bend the stack. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's definitely this side. I'm going to try to bend it a little bit more and see if it will improve. And I'll also try to shuffle and see if that helps things at all. I love the white cardstock. I do not believe I will be edging this, although I reserve the right to change my mind. Anyway, that is the Modern Witch, and let me know. I'd love to hear if you have this deck and what you think of it. What do you think of the changes? I'm definitely going to be reading the Little White Book and see if there's any other things that the creator has changed up, either specifically through the meanings, and also on the card, on the art itself. Yeah, so that's it. Leave me a comment down below if you do have this deck and how it works for you. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And if you haven't already, then please do hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.